Hi, I'm Maria. I will be playing a licensed clinical social worker.
I'm Lorene, and I'll also be playing a social worker.
And I'm Sterling, and I'll be the client.
All right, Sterling, welcome back. It's good seeing you again today. How are you doing?
Oh, I've been better.
Okay, thank you for sharing that with me. Let's go ahead and get started. Before we do so, I would like to remind you about the HIPAA regulations we have discussed previously, and I would also like to remind you that I am a mandatory reporter, and that includes any information you share with me. That includes any danger to yourself or any danger to others. I will also need to report anything if there's any abuse of any vulnerable populations, including children, elderly, or any disabled adults. Okay, so I just want to make sure that's out there. And with that being said, please tell me a little bit more about what you're going through.
Yeah, I was in church earlier this week, and someone was talking about um homosexuality and heaven, and um they basically said that if you're gay, you're not going to be able to go to heaven, or at least the highest level of heaven that we talk about in my denomination. And as we talked about, I'm gay, so um, that really, it's not like I haven't heard this before, but it's always, anytime that comes up, it just reminds me of, you know, the fact that, that maybe there's something wrong with me, and maybe I don't fit in, and maybe heaven just isn't for me, and that just, it's a lot to wrestle with.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that with me. That is definitely a lot of thoughts to have come up and being shared in your community where you feel like you should feel safe. So I totally understand. Um, Let's talk about what anxiety you're experiencing. Like, and if you had to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, what would you say you're at?
Um, Anxiety wise, I don't really feel super anxious. I just feel really heavy all the time.
Yeah. What would you say your depression rate would be at then?
It's just generally around I mean, most days it's like a 6. That day it was like a 9, maybe a 10. I
Okay.
don't know.
Yeah. Thank you. And would you say that this specific event affected your sleep as well for that day or for the week?
Yeah, when I get like that, I just kind of I roll into bed and shut out the world, and I just want to sleep for as long as possible, and so I sleep a lot. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Would you be able to tell me about how many hours you slept that day or how many hours you're getting approximately the other days of the week?
Yeah, like 10, 11 hours.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And was that just that specific day or the whole week?
I was definitely that specific day. If I had the choice, I'd do that every day, but with work and everything, I can't.
Right, right. Okay. Would you say that this specific event made you have any thoughts about self-harm?
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like, there are a lot of days where just I I just wish I didn't exist. I wish my I could shut off my consciousness and never have to think another thought again. Yeah.
Mm. Okay, yeah. So are you telling me that with this circumstance, you might have wished that you were dead or maybe that you could have gone to sleep and not woken up?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. And have you had any actual thoughts of killing yourself?
Yeah, I've thought about it a number of times, yeah.
Would you be able to tell me how often you're having these thoughts?
I mean, this last week has been almost every day. Um, Most of the time, it's it comes up about every month or so.
And when you're having these thoughts, how long do they last?
Few hours. Um, I'll just be sitting. Well, I mean, it depends on where I'm at. If I'm at work, I kind of can't focus on it. I try not to anyway. Sometimes it really gets to me, but um, when I'm at home, I can sit. I can just sit in on my bed or on my couch and just be mulling things over for a couple hours. Yeah, yeah, a few hours
Yeah,
at a time, I guess. Yeah.
okay. A few hours at a time every day since this incident?
Hmm.
Okay. Yeah, this definitely sounds really hard, and I can't imagine what you're going through. I thank you for sharing this information with me. I really appreciate it.
Yeah.
Along with having these thoughts, have you been thinking about how you might do this?
Yeah. 'Cause I don't want it to be painful or long where I could be second guessing myself or anything like that. Or if it was, I just don't want to, I don't really want to die so much as I just want to be free. And I feel like dying is the only way to do that sometimes. So if there's like, I don't know, if there's like a pill I can take or something I can inject myself with, I'll be gone and immediately. That'd be the way to go for me.
And how many times a day do you think you're having these thoughts of actually doing it?
Oh, once or twice a day lately. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really hard what you're going through. Thanks for being vulnerable and being able to talk about this. Along with these thoughts, have you had any type of intentions of acting on them?
Yeah, I mean, I probably would if I just and I just need to do more research into what what could actually do that for me that would make it easy and painless to for me to die. I because I would do it, I think.
And along with this, since you have been having these thoughts and intentions, have you started to work out or work out the details of how you would kill yourself?
So yeah, like I mean, along with what I mean, like taking a pill or injecting myself with something, some kind of substance that would, you know, end it pretty quickly. I mean, I'd like go drive into the mountains or in the canyon or something and late at night and just, I don't know, walk out into a remote area where no one's going to find me so I don't have to freak anyone out or anything and then just do it. Yeah.
And how often do you think you have these thoughts of actually carrying out the plan pop into your head?
Yeah, it about the same,
About the
once or
same.
twice a day. I just keep thinking about it like how can I do this? How can I make it happen? And do I really want to?
Mm-hmm. Do you intend to
Part of me
carry
really
out
does.
this? Sorry, do you intend to carry out this plan, or has it just been a thought that's been there?
I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure. I Some days I really do want to. Other days I'm not so sure. I'm afraid I
And
might do something, yeah.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a lot to go through with especially the recent situation that has happened. And with all these thoughts and intentions, has this been in the past 3 months?
Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, definitely, especially in the last week. But I mean, this has been going on for couple of years at this point. Ever since I started to really, once I realized I was gay, and I started to think about it, it's gotten worse.
So, since I have noticed that this is frequent, the severity for suicide is really high, I would love for us to create a safety plan and to make sure you have people around you that are able to support you and you have a community where you feel safe. Do you think this is something that you would be open to creating today?
Yeah, that'd be nice.
And pause. So, some steps that we would take further with our client would be to create a safety plan and make sure our client has a support system that is involved and that knows of the situation that's going on, and just making sure our client feels a little bit more regulated at the end of the session. Yeah.
Yeah, I think making sure that we give those regulation strategies for Sterling to make sure that that helps. And after discussing such an important topic, and maybe like other resources that could help him while he's away from us, not just the support system, but like maybe the safe this the what is that app, the 988 number, where sometimes you
Yeah.
can call or text when you're in crisis, and resources of that sort. So if we
Um,
start debriefing, I want to say, since I started off, I think something that went well was, I feel like I noticed that Sterling started talking about thoughts of suicide a little bit ahead of me asking the questions. And I tried my best to somewhat transition into the first question more like into conversation versus just like rephrasing the whole thing so it didn't sound like I didn't hear him. Something that I feel like went not well was that I panicked when I didn't expect that scenario, first of all, and when I have to put that like social worker cap on, and we were talking about how it's hard to kind of be empathetic, not because you don't want to be, but because we are limited kind of like on what or how we can be there for the client. Like if you're with a friend, you can kind of be like, oh, I'm here for you, it's okay. Or, don't say those things, like, I got you. But with a client, you can't really say those things. And I said to Sterling, oh yeah, I totally understand. And obviously I do not understand. I am not the client, and I am not in his shoes and experiencing what he's experiencing. So that was not thought of before I said it. So yeah.
for my part, I felt like the story flowed really well with each question, and like Sterling was like being vulnerable and like letting us know like his intentions and how he was like planning everything out. So I feel like it really flowed well with the questions. But I kind of got stuck at the last question because the situation that Sterling was in, it was a recent situation. And for the last question, I just read it how it was, which was this within the past 3 months? And obviously it was because he's coming in to see us because of a recent situation. So I feel like I could have probably just skipped that question and just gone into discussing a safety plan instead. But yeah.
Yeah, that probably would have been best. Yeah. Um, I don't know. Is there like I guess is there anything I need to talk about with my role?
Maybe
Sterling
thinking
did great.
yeah, you did do great.
His
You did so
story
good.
made me nervous. I was sweating at the end of this.
Agreed. Maybe you can. Did you feel like anything went well, besides your really good storytelling,
Well,
or maybe
thanks.
something that you're like, no, I did notice this, and as a client, it made me feel, or maybe something like that.
Yeah, it was, I mean, it was really just Lorraine's at the end with the 3 months thing, where it's like, as the client, I'm like, well, yeah, duh. It was just this week. But then me being me, I think I'm a pretty open person, so the character I was playing was also going to be open and not too mean to the therapist in that way and say, well, duh, you know. So
Yeah, that
I
saved
mean,
us.
yeah, I guess I saved you there,
Yeah,
because I guess not every client is going to be that
that nice.
respond that well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job, guys. Thanks.
Thanks.